We're going live. Oh, it says live. Hey guys, this is Unpopular Review, and we're here to talk about NXT. NXT just went off a minute or so ago. We're going to talk about it all. As you see by this picture, we're going to talk about her match with Gigi Doling. Trick Williams was in the house. He had some things to say. And we had the tournament that start off with the tag team championships, and also there's some mafia stuff going on with one Tony D and Dragunov, but we're going to talk about it all. You're watching Unpopular Review. We're going to talk about it after these intros. Hi, everyone. Unpopular Review. You heard that long introduction, so I have to do it again. We're talking NXT. I'm one of your hosts, the great Grand Slam Pooba, but forever will still be Badguy Jack. And I'm joined with the Wrestling Doll, a.k.a. the Lion Doc. I hope I said it right, because I wanted to make sure I got this all correct. Wrestling Doll, NXT just went off the air. Take the floor. Tell the people what did you think about NXT, and how are you doing?
Well, yes, everybody, it is your soon-to-be hopefully favorite wrestling valet, Miss Dahlia Dark, soon to be going under a name change, so it'll be a little bit easier for it to roll off the tongue for people to say, and frankly, the name could use a little bit of a change, but NXT was good, as always, can't go wrong about it. Who's going to complain about a good old episode of NXT? It was very interesting tonight, to say the least, and I know we got quite some stuff to talk about.
Yes, we do. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, I just want to share on Twitter real quick. Yes, I still call it Twitter here, guys. Let's get into the chat real quick. We got always number one, the number one George in the chat. He says, "What's up, everyone?" He says, NXT was pretty good tonight. I agree. It was good. We're going to talk about this, George. I kind of knew that the LWO was going to beat OTM. He also mentioned Roxanne looked like she's going heel. Looks like it. Go ahead.
She broke Lyra's arm last week. The woman's a heel now. She gave a heel-like promo.
Yeah, she's pretty much flat out a heel. I'm sorry. We got also here, we're going to talk about this later, George. Thea Hale is back to herself and left JC Jane, who turned on her. Badguy, what do you have to say? I sit here and say that I don't appreciate what Thea Hale is doing. How do you bite the hand that fed you? Listen, this Thea Hale, I'm going to save it, but I'm going to give my thoughts right now. Thea Hale, when Andre Chase did some despicable act, who was there to help her? That's right, JC Jane. So I don't like what is going on here. I know JC Jane is a good friend, and this is going to bite one Thea Hale in the ass, and you don't want to get bit in the ass because it's very painful. I have stories, but no one wants to hear me talk about my stories in Florida because I ran into an alligator, and that was painful. We also got here George saying, oh, I clicked that, totally messed that up. Tony D put Dragunov in the trunk to make a statement. I also think he's been watching a lot of Sopranos. Not gonna lie, the show felt dragged on beside Roxanne's great promo. The ending, though. JL, it's great to have you here. I hope that you stay with us as we talk about some NXT. I want to hear your thoughts about it. We got Charmaine. This Saturday is my birthday, so we're gonna say an early happy birthday to you, madam. Okay, JL. I know those two are dating real life, but the pop they got was insane. She's a star. Who's dating in real life that I don't know about? Who's he talking about? Who are you talking about, JL? Because I'm lost. Who are you talking about? You're not talking about Trick and Lash, are you? Finally, Haley came to help Thea. That's a good friend. No, it's just it's really more of I can't mind my business. That's what I'm getting out of that. And JL says Roxanne seems a lot more comfortable as a heel. She flowed better and did not stutter in her promo as opposed to her being face. And George is mentioning last show. Oh, they do. They're dating. I had no idea about that. I really had no idea. I thought I didn't know that. Let's open up the show, guys, real quick before we talk about some NXT. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit that notification so when we do go live. I don't have to just be NXT. We have a Raw review show. There was a Raw show yesterday. There's going to be a Dynamite show tomorrow. There's going to be a Friday Night SmackDown review instead of it on Fridays on Saturday in the afternoon. There's so much content. We're going to plug all those lovely programs so you guys know what is going on. So thank you guys for watching us. Let's talk about this. I do notes the old-fashioned way, as you guys can tell, because I have a notebook and I use and I write. But NXT opens up. We have the LWO against Out the Mud. A great way to open up the show. LWO, they come out, but OTM don't want to waste no time. They come out there and they immediately start stomping LWO. And I like this. Something that was pointed out to my vision, because I wouldn't have noticed it until seeing it, there was no Jada Parker. I wonder why she wasn't on. And honestly, for tonight, she was very much needed. Because Out the Mud, I mean, look, they had Reggie out there. Reggie, he didn't really play much of a factor. He was trying to get his boys to be like, come on, do this. He was cheering them on. But it's different when you have Miss Parker out there telling you, come on, boys, you can do it. OTM, it looked like they took advantage in the first part of the match. LWO started eventually get some momentum. They started to use their speed, and they did some amazing stuff like they do. Cruz. He is quite the acrobat because there's a lot of times where he'll run to the rope and he just has such good balance. I wanted to throw that out there. I also want to throw out there Price is such a great seller. Like, he sells very well with his eyes. Sometimes when I look in his eyes, I'm like, yo, bro, you still there? But he's still there. He's just knocked out or selling the attack. But LWO, they get the win. They do there was a spot here. I did want to touch on this real quick. There was a spot with Wilde where he does like the springboard move. He hopped off of, I believe it was Nima's back. He ran up. He almost did like the the Hardy Boys poetry in motion, but instead he jumped and just springboard outside the ring, landing on Price. Bronco's in the ring. He gets knocked out or laid out by Cruz. Phoenix. Jesus, I'm mixing up all these names here. But Wilde gets on the turnbuckle, the ropes. He does a springboard 450 and an assist one, and they get the win here. So LWO is moving, and they're going to advance. I should throw out there, too, that the tag team champions were out there watching and see what was going on. You know, the LWO won, good for them, but I really was thinking OTM because I just felt like OTM has been growing a lot, and I would like for them to get rewarded and win those tag titles, but it looked like it won't be at Stand and Deliver. Russell and Dog, I'm going to give you the floor. What did you think about this?
The match was great. It was a good match. I loved the LWO. Even before they became the LWO, when they were still in Legado del Fantasma, I still love them both. So I have pride for my fellow Latinos. I mean, nothing wrong with Out the Mud, but I don't know. I guess maybe they wanted to work a little bit harder or do something or try to put him in a different storyline or something along that besides having them go after the belts because everybody's going after a title, which not bad, but you got to do something else with your teams and your single stars besides having them all go out to the belt at the same damn time. It's like, what y'all gonna do?
Well said. Well said. And I think LWO in this match. I mean, there's a bunch of other teams. I didn't write it down, but I know that Hank and Tank are going to be in this. Axiom and Fraser. And there's two more teams. I didn't write them down, but like there was two other teams. Is
Chase U also going to be in there as well?
Yes, the JC List Chase U. So they are definitely not going to win now without JC Jane. Feel bad for them, but they blew their load. Too bad for them.
And the OC.
And the OC. Yes, the OC. You know, not for nothing. I was looking at that promo, right? I'm not the biggest fan of OC. I'm talking about about this group, because I feel like when I say OC, they might be thinking about Orange Cassidy. I'm like, no, I like Orange Cassidy, but I'm not a big fan of this. But there's something about them being in NXT where I go, their first run when they came out here, I can't help but go like, instead of them just putting them on the main roster, this is probably the way they should have started. I personally think that. Like, I don't know. It's just something where I'm just like, they should have just started on NXT. That probably would have been the better move. We got in the chat. We got. Let me move up a little bit here on the chat so we can click on these things so you can see your guys' faces here on here. Good Chris in the chat says Roxanne Perez is officially a heel. Breaking news. I'm happy that Roxanne is here. Wow, you guys really like Roxanne being a heel. Okay. I thought the LWO was better.
For her to turn into a heel. It's like, this is what we would have gotten reaction-wise with Dana Brooke if she were still on the program. You want somebody to turn heel after being face for so long, you're getting bored out of your mind. And then, boom, you get the heel turn. People are finally happy to see it. It's like with Cora Jade before she turned. People liked her as a face, but they were getting kind of bored. And now, people love her as a heel.
Who's that, Cora? No, you got a point. No, you got a point. I'm sorry. I moved my eyes like this because you guys can't hear it, but when someone comes into the room that we're in, you hear.
You get a notification noise that someone is in the room, and not sure why this person's in the room. Maybe they thought I wasn't going to be here to work with you, but
I knew you was going to be here because if you wasn't, you would have gave me the heads up and say, "Hey, bad guy, I'm not going to be on," and I would have said, "Then there's no show because I will not do NXT without you." That's how this rolls. We are the Legion of Doom. Damn it. Let's get those LOD that we're going to start wearing spikes next. Next week, we're going to have face paint. But I kind of don't want to be LOD because, one don't have hair and the other one has a mohawk. And my mohawk days are over. So you will never see that. You'll see this head full of hair. But we're going to wear face paint, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to be called the Legion of we got to come up with a name. It can't be LOD because it's copyright. We can't do that. But we'll figure out a name. We got Warman and do you think Ava is doing a good job being a manager? Yeah, I think she's doing a fine job. She's fine. Yeah, she comes out when she needs to come out. She says her part. I have no problem with what she's doing. I think she's doing a pretty good job. I also appreciate what she said in the Roxanne promo where she said, we looked at your like her medical. But she had to point out, like, although I wasn't the GM, which I appreciated because I was going to say, wait a minute now. You wasn't the GM. How do you know about the medicals? So I do appreciate that little touch in there because, she wasn't GM at the time. Matter of fact, last year at Stand and Delivered, you know what she was doing, guys? She was that's right, Joe Gacy. I forgot what they did. Joe Gacy and the Dyad, I think they were called. I'm sorry, I forgot that. It was a whole year ago, and I forgot.
Joe Gacy with Ava and the Dyad, now the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Yes, and are they on TNA? Are they officially on TNA? Because I'm watching them. Oh, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, I watched not the last pay-per-view that TNA just had, but the one before, when they went up against the now former champions at the time. It was a good match.
I believe it. Well, they're actually really good. I don't even say actually, but they're really good. I didn't watch a lot of the NXT UK stuff because I just don't watch. I didn't watch NXT UK.
I've seen them live a couple times when they were in the Performance Center.
Nice.
When they were still in 2.0.
I missed the opportunity when they were out here. I forget when. I think it was in December. There was an HOG show and they were out here. I didn't go for whatever reason. And I was like, man, I should have went because they're a really good tag team. And whatever company that they go to, it's a good pickup. So hopefully I could catch some TNA eventually because I gotta check them out. We got Good Chris in the chat. He wanted to let you know that you look so beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I do want to ask Good Chris in the chat, what about me? I made sure that my skin was fantastic. I put my hair in a nice little thing. I mean, I'm just quite jealous. The LOD team might break up. I might do a Carmelo Hayes. And not on you, but definitely on an executive consultant. I would hit him with the what did he keep hitting trick with? What was it? It was like that leg move. I'm so mad I can't think of it.
Miss.
No. It's the thing where he attacks the leg. It's like a take. I forget. I should know these moves. I don't. George, where are the tag teams? George wanted to mention Hank and Tank is one of them. OC and I believe. I don't think Malik and Eldris is in there. They should. I'm sorry. I'm just always gonna stand up for them guys and be like they should. Will Lash and Jakar leave Metal 4? I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't.
If they left, then the metaphor would that unit will be gone. Like will be completely destroyed.
I think there's such a great act right now that you don't do that. I just don't think that's the move. Cora seemed to be injury prone.
Well, so is Samoa Joe, and look who's still the champion over in AEW.
But I don't think he's been in since he's been in AEW. I don't think he's been injured at least.
Not that much, no.
No. George says, "Oh no." Jay said, "At George, I think after Sad." Oh, good job. This is why it's always good to have someone a little bit younger because I saw Sad. I was like, "What the hell is that?" But George, I think at Stand and Deliver they will start the crumble of the group, and I predict next year she will be the NXT champion. I guess he's talking about the Meta 4. Lash, I think you said by next year. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Maybe a year and a half, 2 at most.
One
more time.
We got I would do this with Lash first. I would put the women tag titles on her and Jakara just to see how she does with it before giving her the women's championship. Because I feel like she's definitely improved. But if you're saying next year, I guess we'll have to see how this year play out. But I think that's pretty fair. We got the devil in the chat. Ava's boring, no charisma. Wow. Someone eats original oatmeal, which is a terrible flavor, by the way.
With no cinnamon sugar?
He's definitely not sweet. Yep, we might get Lyra versus Roxanne at Stand and Deliver, but I know that Lyra's injury. So that's the thing, right? Like, what do you go with this? I do think we do get Lyra versus Roxanne, especially since this match. I like what Roxanne mentioned. She mentioned how they had that match at Vengeance Day, I believe, and then it turned into a triple threat. They never had that one-on-one, and they have to get there. So unless the plan is that she's so injured she can't compete, Tatum fills in, and at a later date they have a rematch talking about Roxanne and Lyra. I only see this happening at Stand and Deliver. We have Schism. Okay, you're trying to help me out there. Thank you. Happy birthday to Bad Bunny. Oh, it's Bad Bunny's birthday. Good for him. Oh no, she's saying this on Sunday. Josh Briggs versus Oba Femi for the NXT North American Championship. That was messed up. On Sunday, it's Bad Bunny's birthday. That's what I wanted to see.
Patty's Day.
Thank you. That is so nice. This is why this is good, Chris. I like you better than other Chris. Other Chris sucks. Bad guy, Jack, you look awesome. See, I just want compliments because she takes all the compliments and I get it. But I'm here too. And I take really good care of my skin. And I get a whole 4 hours of sleep because my sleeping pattern sucks. Wrestling Doll looks hot and Bad Guy is so handsome. Oh, come on. I didn't ask for it. Come on. You're making me blush. I'm talking about the next segment. We're going to get into you guys' chat. You guys are fantastic. This is what I like to spend on my Tuesday. There's this Chase U segment. They see that JC Jane and Jasmine are hanging out, which JC Jane deserved this. I know this is what you guys came here on Tuesdays to hear me say. JC Jane deserved this after saving Chase U, after Chase U, having a drinking problem and gambling problem.
It was just a gambling problem.
I don't know. I think he was smoking too. I don't know. I just know that there was a whole lot of things going on with one Andre Chase. And now everyone's sitting there turning their back on JC Jane. I don't understand it. It makes me mad. Matter of fact, you know what face I have? I got a face right here. Hold on. I made sure that I had some visuals here to let you guys know how upset I was. Here you go. This is what I look like when you guys sit here and talk bad about JC Jane. Look, how dare you? That's right. Disgusting. Patooey. So I'm glad that she took some time off. And then Thea was like, oh, no, what am I going to do? I'm so scared. No. Oh, my God. Don't put Nick Cannon CD on, please. Which I would say, too. But,
not at all what the hell did.
That's all I heard. All I heard was nothing but surround sound crying. But thank goodness for the one great Kehlani
Jordan.
She is fantastic. I honestly have to sit there and say she should have minded her business too. But I do appreciate that she wanted to stand up for Thea. Although I do want to point out that Thea picked this fight with Kehlani James and Kehlani James. I'm sorry, there's a lot of K's here. Kehlani James and Izzy. That was her fault. That's why JC didn't want to be a part of that. And JC couldn't compete tonight. Did you see it? You don't wrestle in heels. That is bad. Roxanne, let's talk about this segment real quick. Roxanne Perez, we were talking about a little bit. She explained her actions. She talked about how she carried this women's division. She talked about defeating a legend. I do remember this. I think this was the last time we saw her. It's not Nakamura. What's her name?
Nico Sakamura.
Nico. Thank you. Yes. Fantastic. And they had a really good match.
That wasn't the last time.
I don't think I saw her ever since. Was there any other time that we saw her? Please tell me. I don't remember.
Listen, I'm talking about Roxanne. I'm not talking about Mako. Mako's got her own thing, running her own.
Oh, I meant Mako. That's what I meant. I meant her. Like, that was the last time we saw her. But carry on.
But basically, segment goes, Roxanne is preaching why she did what she did, how she had her match, she got cheated out of it, basically, and how the pain that Lyra's feeling isn't from the excruciating thing she did to her arm and practically dislocate her shoulder. No, it is the pain that she will be feeling once Roxanne takes that belt off of her, because Cora Jade is nowhere to be seen due to getting injured months ago. And then as they keep going, Ava does come out to talk to Roxanne so that way she could eventually get her match. But Tatum jumps out from the crowd and tries to go after her.
She's a real friend. She's such a real friend.
And Roxanne kicks her in the face, and Ava's yelling for the refs to pull Tatum back, and the crowd is chanting for them to let them fight. So we gonna get them two next week.
Fantastic. You know, I like this segment. I like that one Roxanne explained herself. I see you guys in the chat.
Poor Roxanne, now that she's got her heel turn, now they finally are like, woohoo, we're not bored of her anymore. She's not doing the same old. Now she's finally turned. We understand what she's saying. We agree with her. We will now cheer for her. Basically what happened.
That's how the crowd is, right? The crowd is always like,
fickle.
Oh, you know, goody. Yeah, they are fickle. But I did like her even mentioning and saying stuff over the lines of like, I wasn't, so when she turned heel, right? Or slowly turning heel, I was like, I don't know. Like,
it was on and off. It was like up and
down. She was on that cusp, right? But you know, the thing for me, certain wrestlers just don't work for me as a heel, because I'm like, I can't boo you. You just seem so like, I feel like, and I take the bus. I live in New York, right? If I'm standing, you seem like someone who would give up their seat. And I think that's very nice. And that's what Roxanne seems like. She'll give up her seat. She seems like such a sweetheart. That's what I'm like, I can't boo you. But, and even now, I still can't boo her. I think she's just sugar. She's so sweet. But she said, now y'all want to cheer me? Where the hell were you guys? And I was like, clearly right there, because some of them look like they'd be there all the time. Some of them look like they never get up. I amuse myself. I promise this is just tea. But yeah, it's gonna set up a match next week. Good for and she even called out Becky. I did want to touch on that. She called out Becky. What? Becky didn't do nothing to you, girl.
No, you know what? You carried this women's division, helped elevate it. So did Becky.
I love that. This is how you know when someone's officially a heel. Or some of the women here, right? Like when Bayley turned heel, she started her first sentence as a heel was, "Hey bitches." This is how I knew Roxanne was a heel, and she said, "Screw all of you." That's a heel. Just wanted to throw out there.
It's like when Braun Breaker first turned heel. He was like, "Y'all are finally on my side," and it only took me turning on all of y'all for you to truly see the greatness that is within me after being so bored of me.
We got George in the chat. He says Fallon came and helped until JC moved Holland and Izzy kicked Thea and cost them the match until Thea saw the light. Did she see the light though? Like, are we serious here, George? Come on, George. Get it, George. You're disappointing me. I'm very upset at you, George. Tatum is a true friend. Lyra must be thankful for defending. She is the real friend. She came out of nowhere. I said, where the hell did this girl come from? We got H-Man, new H-Man, and on March 30th is Easter church service online and Easter parade. Cool. We also got good Chris, but she didn't mention Bailey. No.
She doesn't have to mention Bailey, but Bailey's a great example of a face turn heel. That a heel turn for a face that truly saved the career.
We got
now
George.
She's on the cusp of being a face once again with only one thing. Who is going to help her at WrestleMania? Because last we checked, nobody in the women's division likes her for making damage control.
She's going to get some help. You know, it's going to be like Naomi. Somehow Bianca's going to be added on somehow. I don't know how, but the fourth, I don't know. And you know it's crazy too because tomorrow, I mean, it's no secret, right? Mercedes is going to be debuting on AEW. This would have been a great time to bring her back, but you know she want to do other things, and shout out to her for all the things that she want to do. H-Man says an Easter egg hunt. Jay was pointing up. George says
pointing at George's comment for this.
Which one? Oh, don't be surprised if Lyra comes out next week. Oh, I won't be. We got that's rude, George. I don't even know why I highlighted that. Naomi, he says Naomi. We got on tomorrow night is AW Big Business on my big day. Hey! And then Naomi and possible Jay Cargo. It's looking like that. Yeah, because they had that little stand-up.
The fourth will be, based on what you were saying.
It would be fantastic. I wasn't too sure, but it would be fantastic.
I mean, she did have that stare down with Io and the rest of Damage Control, so.
She did. So with all that said, we are at the 20-minute mark. We're going to, well, it's actually 26 minutes, but usually around that time, we play a commercial to catch our thoughts. So, guys, here's some commercials. We'll be back with some more NXT talk. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Now before The Rock drops some gospel on you.
What is Cody's story? What is Cody's story? Because his story went from winning the belt that his daddy couldn't, doing it for his family, then doing it for himself, then being hell-bent on taking down Roman Reigns. Which one of these is the story?
Scott, that's a Versace. And the less fabric on a Versace, the more expensive it is. That's not $799. That's probably $27.99 as in $2,799.
Finally, your life has meaning.
They're Salt Lake. He told the truth.
Finally, you and your 50 wives.
They're in Salt Lake. He told the truth.
Your 600 inbred grandchildren one day.
They're in Salt Lake. Okay? I know what you mean, Matt.
Probably right.
But he told the truth.
There goes our Utah audience.
Don't care.
You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
Hey, guys in Utah, Unpopular Review, I mean, we don't all believe that. Just so you know. So please come back here. And if you don't want to see those guys, which you should.
I mean,
no, you shouldn't. But you can watch us because we're fantastic and we're fun and colorful.
And I will answer that question the same way it'll be answered up until WrestleMania happens. What is Cody Rhodes' story? He said 3 options. It's all of them combined.
There we go. You know, it's so funny. I mean, you know, everyone's already sitting there saying Cody will be finishing his story.
Better finish that report. Otherwise, what was the point of having him go back and officially?
But what if? Let's have some fun here.
I don't want to hear no. What if Roman Reigns?
No. This is not for you, wrestling doll. This is for the chat. This one is for the chat. Let's talk with the chat. This one, I get it. I already know your position on this. But this is not for you. This is for the chat. Chat, let's talk about it. What happens if Cody Rhodes do not finish his story? I'm interested in hearing what you guys think. Is it Cody is done? He's finished. He's cooked. It's unrepairable damage. I want to hear what you guys want to say. And we're going to talk more NXT because I know right here, this lovely young lady will blow a gasket if we keep talking about Roman Reigns. Because I know, and I'll throw this out again, the first time I met Wrestling Doll, we went to the Royal Rumble. It was great. I said, oh, this is my partner on Tuesdays. Fantastic. And when Roman came out, when everyone put their hands up, she put up a certain other finger, and it wasn't the index finger. And I know this because it was
put up the one to acknowledge, so I did in my own way.
There we go. She put up, and I knew it was the middle finger because I remember I put that up one time, and my mother saw me, and my hand was injured for a whole year. So yes, that's why we will move on from one Roman Reigns. We got in the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. What's going on in the chat? Let's see what's going on, guys. What's going on? You guys are making the show fun. We want to thank you guys. We got JL. He says, I was talking about Thea. You missed it. I did miss it. I apologize, sir. I thought I made a decent point, but maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe not. We got George, the best duo of Unpopular Review, Bad Guy Jack, and Wrestling Doll. Please say it a little bit louder because, people be trying to screw us. We should have won last year. Like people who are barely here winning awards. Like, what are we doing here? You found it? Oh, if we are real, Thea being this crazy character is just annoying. Who does this appeal to? I can't tell you who it appeals to. I can't sit here and say it's my audience. But one thing I do like about Thea Hill's character, right? It's different. Sometimes I just like different characters.
Listen,
she's not.
There are people out there in the world that are fun, energetic, don't know how to handle all their energy, and can like lash out and like channel it into beating people up. And so be it. I mean, Brindley Reese is similar to it. She doesn't channel it into beating people up. She's just very energetic and very happy and go lucky, and takes a win or a loss and learns from it. And
you gotta have also too. You have
to have variety. You have to have diversity.
You do.
You can't just have the same. Then everything
Absolutely.
would be boring.
Absolutely. You can't have every last one to be the same character. Well, I can't sit here and say Thea. I'll use an example if I can, right? I like Nikki Cross. I miss Nikki Cross from the NXT days. That was my favorite version. Yes, that was my favorite version of her. She goes to the main roster. I don't think she was with Sandy right away. But either way, she was running around. She didn't have nothing to do. But then she became the superhero. What was it? Nikki Ash, right? I can easily sit here and say to you guys, I was turned off by this character. This character was not for me. But
I didn't love it, but but it was her idea, so she wanted to do something different.
It was her idea, and also too, while I can sit here and say this was not for me, little girls who when I would see pictures with her and little girls, and they were really excited to see her and stuff, I said, "Oh, this is not for me. This is for this audience."
You need to have something for every demographic that watches.
Absolutely. You know what wins me over if I watch?
It'll still be like the 90s with like the 2-minute women wrestling matches with like ridiculous stipulations, with wearing very thin articles of clothing, or fighting in food, or having pillow fights, or ridiculous costume contests. We're not in that era anymore where we do that. We have to broaden out and expand.
We got George in the chat. He wanted to say good job to you. I guess you for sticking the middle finger up at one room. And then he also said it was crazy Nikki and then Nikki Ash, and now she stands there in the chair. I haven't even seen her in so long. When's the last time we saw
her? She's been gone for a while, but she's been studying, getting her schooling on. So. Oh,
good for her. I mean, I'm sorry. That's way more important than wrestling. Good for her. The next segment, we'll talk about Tony D'Angelo. He has Crucifini. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right because Oh, okay. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm chuckling because I really put every letter in the alphabet in this guy's name. Whoops. Okay. So apparently there's not a G in here.
No.
Guys, I cheated on my 4th grade spelling test. What do you want from me? Spelling is not my strongest suit. But Crucifini, he's out. He's with the family. They're having dinner. Look like some really good dinner too. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like Olive Garden. I'm not saying that's where they're at, but it made me go like, I could go for some Olive Garden. They have some nice breadsticks. I'm a big fan of the Alfredo sauce. I forget with the noodles and everything. I'm a big fan of that. Love that, by the way. Just want to throw it out. But you can get really full from the breadsticks completely. Like Red Lobster, if you have them biscuits, you never have to have a meal. You can just eat that. But they're out there, they're talking. Tony D's talking about his success and just making this big move. And Rizzo, I love Rizzo. She always cracks me up because her accent it's adorable. Like, she'll be like, but boss, we have to. I'm sorry, she don't sound like Yosemite Sam, but she'll say something like, Tony, you did a good job and stuff. And you'll be like, yeah, now we're going to do this for the family and all this stuff. These accents were so horrible. I apologize. I don't want to because I see what Tony does to people, especially when I saw that bridge, so I will stop. But as they're talking about these moves, and then he also gives credit to I don't know if he calls him his lawyer, but he said, "Did you handle this thing?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." And he handled both things. They never said what it is, but it's handled. And that's when Dragunov comes in. He comes in and he's dressed to the nine. I mean, the man looks really, really good. I can't even hold you. Just good stuff.
New drip code. Seth Rollins, come out. Dragunov's coming up for your title.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, 100%. But he comes out there and he's like, they exchange words and somewhat pleasantries. Dragunov says he really likes Tony, but he says that, you talk about your success and all these things. You have your finger in all these business and stuff like that. But he's like, but me, this is all I have is the NXT championship. Which, if I am Dragunov's wife and kids, I'm like, so screw me, right? Because clearly you have a kid and a wife at home. What do you mean this is all you got? What are they to you, Dragunov? But I don't know. I digress because I've seen this man fight. So I will keep it down a little bit. I will sit in the back so I don't get attacked. Yeah, that rhymed. Good for me. George, 10 points for that rhyme, please. As this is going on, then a bunch of people just kidnap Dragunov. They take him to the back. At first, I thought we were going to get something wonky, right? I thought they were going to put him in the back. Then he was going to beat all these guys up. And then he was going to get by the car that Tony was at and be like, is that the best you got? But this is not one of those wacky movies. I want to just tie this all in together here. So they're driving, and they drive at this bridge. And immediately when I saw this bridge, I said, isn't this where Two Dimes got thrown off? You remember Two Dimes, right? Okay, I wanted to make sure. But I was like, is this the same bridge?
It might be the same bridge, or it might be Pretty Deadly got thrown into that put them in the main roster.
No, not the main. Oh, you mean when they threw off Two Dimes?
I'm talking about Pretty Deadly.
Did they throw him off a bridge?
They threw him into some water.
They did.
And then they got rescued and then put up into a shore somewhere, and they got put into the main roster. That's what happened.
And I love that because like there's this clip or a picture of them just crawling out the water. My favorite one is when one of them were hurt, but one was pushing the other, and then when they saw Tony D, I love the continuity. I just wanted to say that real quick because when they saw Tony,
one is Elton and the brunette is Kid, so that's how you know which one's which.
I'm going to do my best to remember. I appreciate it. Shout out to George. At least 20 points for the Wrestling Doll because that was good because clearly I didn't know who's who. I just know that we have there's two of them. And they might be at WrestleMania because I think they're going to be in one of these matches to determine.
They're having a 6-man tag match scramble for the ladder match for the belts. So they might be one of them. They are having some matches to determine who's going to be in it. So.
George, to answer this question, so someone once upon a time erased the NXT room. So I used to have a whole bunch of clips and stuff like that. So when this room was erased, that clip was as well. But seeing that you said that means you want that clip brought back. And I will make sure to have that back for next week. He wanted to make sure that you have all these points. George, shout out to George.
He gave it to you first.
I know. I mean, George don't want us to compete. I like what George is doing. That's why he always put us on an even playing field. Every now and then, George do play a little dirty, and I know this because there's times where he has taken points from me. But I appreciate him not doing that. Oh, I feel like this is a new person in the chat. I'm gonna say little Fettuccine. Ooh, that sounds yum. 68.
What tag match will be in the 6-man tag match at WrestleMania? Well, you got to watch SmackDown and Raw to see who gets put into the matches.
Right. No, absolutely. No, I'm sorry. It's just the number. Like it was like he knew the next number would have been too far, so he said 68. So good job, sir. Good job. Or good job, person. I'm sorry because I don't know, but good job. We got George. He says I want that clip back because it's funny. Make sure it's brought back, sir.
We talking about dirty. We had Lexis King versus Robert Stone.
Talk about it.
What do you expect? Did anybody expect Robert Stone to win?
Yes.
Not really, for the sake of
I did. I expected him
of a push to Lexis King.
I thought he was going to give him the headlock of doom.
No disrespect to Robert Stone, but yeah, no, they were going to have Lexis King win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is just to further the storyline between Vaughn and Lexis King. Lexis King had to go over. I think him losing to Robert Stone would have, I'm going to say, well, oh man, he would have been just, that would have really messed him up. But, I'm sorry. Let's make sure I got this. I'm going to make sure I got this right. George says Robert Stone got dominated by Lexis King. I'm glad that people like that. I'm going to try to make that a shirt at some point. I want to touch this real quick because we got a new guy, and I want to make sure that he knows that you are seen, or the person you are seeing. What's your favorite Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie? Do you have one?
Well, my favorite is the first one that I remember that I knew that he was in was The Game Plan.
I remember that movie. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
The last one that I watched of him was Jungle Cruise.
I liked it was the one with John Travolta, and I think it was called Be Cool. And I thought that was a funny movie. So I like that movie. I like that movie. That was a pretty damn good movie. Because I wasn't gonna say any fast movies. I think all these fast movies need to stop. Okay, so we talked about this match. Let's talk about the next thing. Let's pour one for the homie. We had Oba Femi defending his North American Championship against Jensen Brooks. Honestly, let me see if I have a picture for this.
No, he switched his name. It's
I renamed him. Whoops.
Yes.
Apologies, sir. So, okay. I saw this match. I said, Jensen, why are you picking a fight with this big black man? Why are you doing that?
Prove a point to Josh Briggs. That's why.
It's a terrible idea.
People tend to think if you got to prove somebody wrong that you can do something all by your damn self, they think, let me try to take down the biggest, strongest guy that we have over here. And then when I'm getting my ass beat.
Honestly.
But if you can handle your own and at least give the guy somewhat of a fight, then it can prove somewhat of a point. But for the most part, Jensen got dominated.
Let me tell you what happened. Look. Oh, we got Roderick. Check this guy out. I didn't think he was going to be here. Hi, Roderick. LOL. I had to be here, Jack, because we had Shay and Katrina disrespecting. They're very rude. JC for all the hard work she did. You know what? Hold on. I just need a moment to pause the show. I want everyone in the chat to be just like this guy, young man, Roderick, who knows the truth about JC Jane. Thank you, Roderick, for being here. Look, I want to give a salute to one, Shay Sawyer, and Katrina. They're lovely individuals. I will never badmouth them, but they're wrong. They are wrong, and you can go there and tell them I said that. Matter of fact, take a letter. Dear Sawyer and Trust, Patooey, signed Badguy. That's my letter. Send it to them. That's what we do here. And we make sure we make that express because I want to make sure they get it on this day of so that they can see the spit dripping when I said Patooey. Because a few days from there, it'll be dry. And then don't send the message. And don't spit on paper. It's disgusting. Let's talk about this match real quick. Oba Femi wrecked this guy. Oba Femi literally does a push-up, only a push-up to be fair. If he does 10, he will wreck them. And Jensen goes in here and he talks about, I have big balls. I have big balls. I have big balls. My balls are so big. I have them in the thing with wheels because I can't. My balls are too big, so I don't drag them. And he got it.
I didn't know that he was trying to bring back the Mrs. old gimmick.
Yeah.
Entered Miss with shirt saying, hello, my balls are massive.
And he got his ass kicked.
Something you do not need to bring back.
And when he did this, and when he wrecked this man, and he destroyed this man, and then you have Brooks outside. It's hard for him to watch. But you know what scene I got out of this? That's right. Well, I don't know if that's right, because I don't know if you guys saw it. But this is what I got out there. After Brooks got his ass kicked, and there's all kinds of he just laid out. He's wrecked. This is what we see. This is Brooks in the ring with Jensen. Right here. Dominated. I hated that I had to see this. I saw it. Jensen, I think you're a great young man, but please leave that big black man alone. He gets stronger every day. Like every day. He literally flips cars for fun. What are we doing here? What is happening?
Like how in those fantasy movies with the bad guy that every time they defeat somebody, they absorb their soul and get stronger from every soul that they absorb. Yeah, that's Oba every time he beats somebody defending the North American Championship.
Oba Femi is literally Thanos with just one stone. What are we doing here? And you know what? I'm glad, but I do want to sit here and say this looked like they're teasing something because earlier before this match, you had Oba Femi face off with Dijak, and you know what? Sign me up because I'd be for that.
Yep, too.
Sign me up.
Oba a challenge.
It would be, but but my question to you is: do you think we're gonna get a triple threat where it's Oba, Dijak, and Briggs? Because it looks like that's where they're going. No, you don't think so?
I don't want it to be.
Okay. We got Roderick. Such a good young lad. Keep being who you are.
Because George was asking, who does JC stand for?
Oh, JC Jane. And Cat We Trust and Cap Shay. Well, yeah. They're fantastic people, but they're wrong. And I will let them know that. Well, Jensen had a set, but they got small. That is the worst time for him to get small. And you know what? I'm getting off his. I was not finishing that sentence. Let's move on. We have Roderick. He says, I'm just saying, where was Andre Chase and Thea Hale when Chase Hughes was shut down? Thank you. Thank you. A man of intelligence. Thank you. There was a lot of ash. Oh, my God. George, please. We have just children watching this show. But there wasn't a lot of ash juice in it.
Kids watch, even though they could probably hear him swearing sometimes when he's in his house because we know that Mike can get a little bit loud.
I'm not going to hold you. I woke up this morning.
I'm saying that in the nicest way possible because I don't want Mike Knox to come after me.
Oh, he won't. I've seen him run. He can't get you.
That's not right.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. There was a lot of bad shoots in the ring after. Good job, George. I'm glad that these catchphrases are getting over. People just... I'm a catchphrase machine. Is it... Oh, I'm sorry. I clicked that. Is it too soon to put Bray Wyatt in this year's Hall of Fame?
Pretty well. They're putting his dad and his dad's brother in there since they're a tag team together. It only makes sense they would have put his son in there.
I'm usually like I think a few years should pass. I don't think you have to go in right away. But if they do it, I have no problem with it. I'm just someone personally for myself. I prefer if there's a little bit of space in between, and I don't think they're going to. I don't know for sure, but because they said there was a leak and everything like that, so I don't know. But I'm not sure if they're going to put him in because I don't think they usually put in a lot of people who have passed. Like they put in yesterday, they announced Muhammad Ali, and I'm trying to think of anybody else. I feel like everyone else is still here with us, but I don't know if they're going to put two people who are no longer with us. But I don't know. That I don't know.
Listen, Triple H can change anything. Maybe he'll make it that more than
that's
one
true.
gets inducted into the Hall of Fame.
You know what? That's a true fact too. Jack versus Oba Femi versus Briggs for the North American Championship. It could happen. It could happen.
Plenty of women that should be inducted by now that aren't.
There is a lot of people. And someone else listened to a podcast today, and I really liked what they were saying. They were mentioning like there's a lot of people who haven't been inducted, and Triple H is probably at this point trying to make right on the people who are not inducted. So I think that's a cool thing. There's a lot of wrestlers that were way before my time, and I don't.
One and night two of inducting people. If
that's
WrestleMania.
I wouldn't. I would only have one because we already got 2 nights for Mania. I even think we should have 1 night for Mania. I think these 2 nights are.
Oh my god, it'd be so long.
It would be very long.
We had that before. That's why they split it in 2.
I think they split it. I don't know why. I want to say because of the corona. No. What did we deal with in 2020? Oh yeah, the COVID era. I think that was one of the reasons. But I also think New Japan. I don't know. I don't know why. But all I know is that these 2 nights are a lot. And your boy's getting a little old.
You would prefer for us to have it like about twice as long as an AEW.
Matter of fact,
5 hours.
What they could even start doing is start chopping off because not everyone. Look, I think it's great that they want to put everyone on the card, but sometimes you're like, hey, you know what? Let's have these certain matches, and these are the main storylines, and that's that. But I digress. We got George, he says, let's highlight this real quick and then move on. We got if they could put Ali in the Hall of Fame and pass away, I'm sure they could put Bray in. Yeah, but the difference is what Ali passed in 2016. A lot of time has passed, and
8 years.
and he also, and not to take nothing away from Bray, they could do that. I'm not saying they can't. You know, if they did it this year, good for him. I would have no problem with it. I was just thinking
we'll have our cover star for next year.
All I was trying to get at is that I don't know if they want to put, I don't know how many people they want to put deceased because it can make it sad. But I don't have the answers. I don't know. I'm just a wrestling fan, and these are just my personal thoughts. So they could do it. And once again, if he's in it, good for Bray. Good for him. Still sucks that he's not here with us. You know,
yep.
He wasn't too far from my age, and when I heard about his passing, it was 2 days after my birthday or something like that, and I just said like, whoa. So it sucks that he's no longer here. So that's what I said and say. If they do it, good for him. He deserves it. He very much deserves it. Oh, such a creative mind. Someone that I feel, when it was time for him to retire, he would have been a great mind backstage, giving all kinds of creative ideas. He would have been fantastic. Truthfully. Next segment here, we talked about. Let's talk about this. Gigi Doling and Arianna Grace. This was a funny match. I didn't even take a whole lot of notes for this. I mean, I just put Grace won. The main thing I got out of this match is that people were getting kicked in the area where they shouldn't be kicked. Arianna, she started by hitting a low blow on Gigi. When I saw that, I said, ooh, that's not cool. And then Gigi followed up by hitting her right back in the over. There we go. That's what JL is saying. Matter of fact, if you look at just to show you the pain, I don't have it solo, but as you can look at this main picture, she was not happy. Get hit there. She looks very hurt. I do have some audio for this real quick. And here's what happened. I'm by myself. I don't know what happened to one wrestling dog, but I am going to carry this show on. I hope you guys stay because it's just me. I need someone to talk to. We got JL. Right in the ovaries. We got George. Let's talk about Thea Hell and Holland versus Keanu James and Izzy Dame and JC causing the match. Thea telling JC, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I need you to be patient with me, George. Be patient with me. We're going to get there. We are going to totally get there. And you're going to hear my thoughts. Indy. What about Indy? That picture says something. That picture says something. I'm going to keep it PG. Please keep it PG. All right. Let's go on to the next segment. I mean, after this match, not even after. This match, because this happened and because Gigi got caught with the low blow, she got disqualified. And with her being disqualified, that meant now she has to be under Grace's tutelage, I want to say. It's like now she's going to sit here and be under her class. She's going to teach her how to be ladylike. And this is interesting. I saw my old co-host, and she wrote something that this is good for Gigi, and we're going to get more TV time with her. Oh, we got the wrestling doll back in action, because you guys didn't want to hear me by myself. Hold on, bring her in. Wrestling doll, you're back. I was concerned. I thought
my internet went out for a second.
I was concerned. I thought Thanos really did the snap, and I was like, wow, that's very unfortunate.
No, my internet decided to do the Thanos snap on me and take me off for a bit. So I'm just gonna say this: the match between Arianna Grace and Gigi Doling was quite something. I did not expect them to do a low blow finish, but hey, it's Miss Arianna Grace, the delicate flower who refuses to fight, make love, not war, but decided to do a low blow to win. She knew she was going to lose, and so she did what she had to do, which was cheat and do something behind the ref's back when the ref was not paying attention. And now we're going to see Gigi have to get etiquette lessons, and it's basically going to be like watching. Does anybody remember the episode from Avatar: The Last Airbender where they're all around Bossing State doing stuff together, and Katara and Toph are getting makeovers and stuff, and the face that Toph makes when they do the rock thing on her feet, which bothers her to death because that's basically how she sees? and then she pushes them out with their earthbending and breaks the door or something. That's gonna be Gigi the entire time when dealing with Arianna giving her etiquette lessons.
I feel like I need to watch Avatar. I was never big on Avatar. You was big on Avatar? You watch all the seasons?
I grew up watching Avatar, so yes. And all I can say is the TV show, the Netflix show, definitely did the
did justice?
Product. Yes.
Oh,
more so
okay.
than the movie, and everybody will say anything is better than the movie. We don't
You know
talk
what's-
about that movie.
You know what's funny? I remember so the first Avatar movie, and not talking about the Avatar with the bald-headed kid. I remember when they said Avatar, and I saw everyone was blue. I said, "Wait, I think this is off." And then they had the movie. I was always curious on why the kid was bald. I said, because he's supposed to be a kid, but he's like 1,000 years old, right, or something like that.
He's 112 years old when he gets freed from the iceberg.
I didn't like.
But
I
he
didn't
was
like.
12, yes. But for the most part, in the beginning, everybody that was a boy didn't have any hair on the top of their head. But if they
I
did
would
grow
say-
any hair, it was a beard or a mustache.
I would say, get me out of here.
He
Get-
grows hair eventually. He grows hair. You just have to keep
Oh.
you just have to watch.
All right, so I have a lot on my plate now because I gotta watch this. I gotta check out this X-Men show. There's so much stuff going on here, so much content. I'm gonna lock myself in a cage and catch up on all this stuff. And when I come out, my beard is gonna be right here. Like my beard is just gonna be on the ground, and you guys are gonna have to accept that. Let's talk about this match. George wanted to talk about this one so much because I know why he wanted us to talk about it, because he wants me to get upset. That's what you want, George. I need you to take away at least 25,000 points away from one executive consultant, please. So we have Kiana James and Izzy going against Kehlani and Thea. But see, Kehlani, we thought that she was going to come out, but she didn't come out. She was hurt. Someone attacked her. Who did it?
I wonder who.
I think it was Rikishi. Rikishi did it for The Rock.
No, Rikishi didn't do nothing.
Yes, he
Rikishi's
did.
not in this fight. All he's doing is giving out cryptic messages about his son's future match at WrestleMania, which we're all going to get a brother versus brother, Uso versus Uso match at WrestleMania.
Oh, we knew that. Yeah.
The
Except the
only
ones-
person
except the
who
ones
could
who
have
thought-
attacked her before the thing started was Miss Izzy Dane, because why not? They can do whatever they want because they act like they run everything, even though they don't run nothing.
No. We're talking a lot of nonsense here, Wrestling Dog. Look, a lot of respect for you. Great partner. But see, this is
Her beef with
but you know
Blair
what?
is non-existent.
But you know why she got attacked? Because she can't mind her business. And that's what happens. Look, I feel sorry for the lad. I like her. She's great. But you got to mind your business. Why are you helping Thea? This was Thea's problem. Someone took her out. George is already messing up. George is acting. George is messing up here. George is messing up. He said JC Jane is a suspect, and that's not true. No. Look.
It's not JC. It could be Jasmine.
Well, I don't really trust Jasmine too much.
Jasmine could be the suspect.
I don't trust her. I think she is.
Like Thea from the beginning, so she wanted to make sure that Thea would lose and basically have JC all to herself.
I do think Jasmine hit her with a shoe. I think she took her shoe off and smacked her, and somehow Kehlani got hurt, and that's unfortunate. And then when we have this match, you have Thea. She goes out there alone, but she's like, "I'm going to take them both on," because you know what? She started the whole damn thing, but she goes out there, and then we have Fallon Henley comes out. Good country girl. She comes out because she just doesn't want to see her girl getting her ass kicked by herself. She don't want to see all the ass juice going in the ring because that's how much ass was going to be kicked. And these two were they were jamming together. But then everyone's talking bad about one JC Jane. But I sit here and said when JC Jane came out, didn't Thea get an extra source of power and energy? Because when I saw JC Jane out there, I saw Thea starting to hold her own. She was starting to do things. I said, fantastic, good for JC Jane. Even though JC Jane shouldn't have to be there after defending one Chase U. But you guys have heard me say this plenty of times. This might be my last week saying all this because I'm getting tired of trying to educate you guys. But this happens. Things are going on. It looked like Fallon Henley was going to get attacked. What I saw personally was one JC Jane pull Fallon Henley out the way to protect her. But you guys said she cost Thea the match. How? She helped her partner who's about to get, say it with me, dominated. And Thea gets kicked in the face. She gets in the ring. And then she gets the knee to the back of the head, gets pinned 1, 2, 3. Thea's a loser. Sorry that I have to say that, Thea, because I really, really like you. I want you to grow up to be a winner, not a loser. Being a loser sucks. Then she gets on the mic.
Listen. You don't want to I will take over.
No. Listen, no, I will not listen to this.
Match. I was interested in what was happening after the match.
And I was going to break that down with Thea crying. Did you not hear the crying? The surround sound crying? Oh, I thought you was crying.
I didn't hear that.
Nothing but crying. Change my diaper. I'm so sad.
You must have been watching an episode of The Young and the Restless, Degrassi edition. I was busy watching.
I'm really upset that I didn't. I'm really upset that I did not use my Jensen joke about the mustache because I was concerned about his health and his mustache. So I'm glad that you mentioned it. Another episode as the mustache turn. Thank you. But take the floor, madam.
So match was fine. I mean, I expected for Izzy, Dame, and Kiana James to take the win because they're pains in the ass. But what I enjoyed was Thea Hale seeing and realizing. She was telling JC, I'm sorry that I can't be exactly like you. I'm sorry that I'm not the cool
She should be sorry. She should.
that you want me to be. I'm sorry that I can't be a carbon copy of you.
She should apologize for this.
Flag and wear all kinds of crazy outfits and put on 50-foot platform shoes. But guess what? The old me is back, bitch.
Oh no!
So
Look,
she's go back to
she's swearing. Look at this. Swearing. She's swearing. Terrible language.
Didn't do before until JC Jane got in the picture.
No, wrestling dog. What are you doing?
That means that Riley's also happy because he gets the girl that he was.
Who cares about Riley? It's a terrible name. Who names
it's a boy and a girl's name.
It's a who?
It's a boy and a girl's name.
This is gross.
What if I were used that in my gimmick name? Jeez.
Oh, I would love it for you. No, it's great, but I don't like Riley. Not. He's not even a real Osborne. I don't know him.
Lonnie Jordan's not related to Michael Jordan or Michael B. Jordan, but we still love her.
Wait, what? Oh my! Alexa, define liars.
Liars is a form of a noun liar, which is usually defined as a person who tells lies.
A person who tells lies. Thank you for that, Alexa. Good night. Oh, sleep. I gotta finish the show. JC Jane, and I felt so bad. JC Jane was very scared. No, stop, please. I'm good. Thank you. I feel really bad. JC was very scared in the ring. I see everyone in the chat. I see Jeffrey has decided his way.
JC's not scared of nothing. The only thing she was scared of was when Mandy lost the title when she was still there, and when they lost the belts and then got them back in the days.
I feared for JC when Thea started running like a Tasmanian devil. I said, JC, get out of the ring with them hills.
I say Energizer Bunny.
The Energizer Bunny had nothing. I repeat, nothing on Thea. When I see Thea run, I got on the treadmill today just to make sure I could still run, and I can do it. But I want to prepare in case I have to get into a match and I have to do a drop kick. But Thea tires me the hell out. When she runs, I say, God, she has a lot of energy. Good for I see Jeffrey. We left the door open, so now he has come in here and he says, came at the right moment. Thea finally stood up for herself. Way to do it, Thea. We got George. Now he has turned his back on me. Bad guy Jack can't see the truth. Yes, I can because I don't wear glasses. So my vision is like 60. Was it? You know how they say 20/20 vision? Well, I have 60/80. So there. We told you, Jack, that JC can't. Jeffrey, look at Jeffrey. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's sitting there saying, we've told you. You know what? Let me tell you something, 50. I don't need you to come after me all the time like that. I dig the hat, Jeffrey. Fantastic. Thank you for being here. I'm always glad to see you. We got George who said, that's Thea Hale I like to see. Well, I don't. And I'm very upset. My blood pressure, man. Let's go into the next segment and then we're going to do a commercial. The Good Brothers, they're on NXT. I mentioned before that I think this is a better fit for them. And I feel like when they first came to WWE, they should have started on NXT. But that is here or there. They talk about all these other tag teams, and they talk about winning the big one. I guess next week they're facing Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank are like they're doing Hank and Tank things at backstage. We have Braun and Baron hype them up. These dudes ain't beating the Good Brothers next week. They're just not. They're not. Do you want to ever follow up before we talk about Shawn Spears and Ridge Holland, and then we call it a show? You have any thoughts? Fantastic, guys. You're watching Unpopular Review. Where's Roderick? Roderick was the smartest person in the chat. Roderick, where are you? Roderick, I love that Roderick boy. He is so smart. He came to me to let me know that people were bad-mouthing JC Jane. When you guys see Roderick, you make sure he's getting a Jack Pack community shirt. When we eventually get those things going. We're going to play a commercial. When I can find a freaking commercial. I like how they gave us old commercial. You know, next week I'm going to have some footage of me on 2K24. How about that for a commercial? I'm going to stomp somebody out. I need names. But we're going to play this old... That coward! Let me tell you about him. This is the commercial right here. Let me tell you, I got 2K24. I didn't get it earlier in the week like everyone else because I'm poor. So I got it Friday. I had a few dollars, and I said, cool, I'm going to get this game because I'm going to live my dreams as a wrestler. And I said, my first match is going to go against one Bill Goldberg. Let me tell you about Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg wasn't in that match. You know why Bill Goldberg was in that match? Because Bill Goldberg's a coward. Bill Goldberg feared what was going to happen in that game because he knew it was going to be a 3-on-1 match. It was going to be me, Morgan Freeman, and Garfield the Cat. And he knew that, man, I'm about to get my ass kicked. I shouldn't be in this game. And I was even going to, for one night and one night only, team up with Mystery Inc. I'm talking about Fred, Shaggy, and I forgot the other people. But I was going to team up with
Daphne.
them. No, I just called them there. And you can't have women in the thing. You can't do that. So I was going to team up with Fred and... My storyline was going to be I was going to team up with Fred and Shaggy, and I was going to turn on Shaggy. Because you know whose dog? You know who his dog is? That's right. It's Scooby-Doo. And I don't hit dogs, so I won't do that. But I'll definitely beat up Shaggy because his shirt is awful. We got Jeffrey who says, we need my rise on the show. Oh, y'all want that? All right. Okay, y'all want content? I got you. Here we go. The Ball Syndicate. I don't hate Bill Goldberg because he's bald. Is that what y'all think? Let's talk about this because they had an outdated commercial. Let's talk about this match. Shawn Spears against Ridge Holland. I want you to take the floor, Wrestling Doll. I mentioned how much I want to beat up Bill Goldberg in the game, but he's a coward. But I want you to take the floor. Let's bring it back. Let's bring some professionalism here on Unpopular Review NXT show. Some stability here. What did you think about this match, Wrestling Doll?
Well, I thought that Ridge definitely held his own going up against one Shawn Spears. Which, again, I'm very happy that they did not go back to calling him Ty Dillinger because we all would have been upset at that. But match was good. It did what it needed to do. I mean, I had no complaints about it. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. Not because I was uninterested. I don't know. I couldn't keep watching. I don't know. Something about Ridge Holland. He's okay in the ring. He just bores me a bit. So.
Who's that, Ridge?
Yeah.
You know, you know what, Ridge? I remember a few years back, and I was really I was interested in him because he has a good look. There's something about him where he could be something, and I agree. He just doesn't really do it for me in the ring. I thought that they were going to have Shawn Spears lose, which I would have thought would have been, excuse me, hiccups. I thought it would have been a terrible mistake. I would have said, man, this is a terrible way.
There was no way they were going to have him lose.
You say that. But I can talk about a debut on NXT and the person lost. I'll have Exhibit A, Samoa Joe, and know who debuted? I think he just won the NXT Championship, or he just defended it or something like that. Eric Young debuted on NXT, and he got choked out by Samoa Joe. So all I'm saying is things could happen. But, and Jeffrey, I apologize, Jeff. That was a nasty comment, by the way. The Scooby-Doo can't. I see you, Jeffrey. But Jeffrey also mentioned the chokeslam was the only interesting. Oh, he says it was the only interesting spot. Yeah, this match. I guess I didn't hate this match, but I can't sit here and go like, I can't say that, but it did what it had to do. It progressed the story. I guess the story is that Ridge, he's trying to hold back his aggression, and he's not.
And eventually, you'll see that Shawn Spears is right, and that he'll probably side with him and take out his frustrations on everybody that says that he's a danger to work with, or prove that he's not a danger to work with, that it doesn't cause injuries to every single person that he steps foot in the ring with, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, this is not done. They're gonna pick back up on this. They're gonna do something. They're going to, I guess, and like how you mentioned, Ridge, until he gets into that when he starts to really show his aggression and he just doesn't hold back anymore. Because there's spots where he was holding back, and then he eventually, like Jeffrey's mentioning, the choke slam spot where he just gave in and said, "Let me choke slam him." And but my only takeaway from, I'm sorry, I didn't even get to talk about some of the comments because Booker T cracks me up. He is hilarious, and there's some matches that I should have wrote down the things that he said just to put it out there because I just think he's funny. But this spot cracked me up because Spears, he does the Death Valley Driver in the corner. I guess he called it like the C4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And when he did it, I'm like, ref, you didn't see that whole chair? Like right there? Like, I know I'm seeing it from my television, but ref, you didn't see, like, Ridge is not that big. He's not a whale. Like, you didn't see that? They're just hiring any refs. And I agree, Jeffrey. I enjoyed Book and Vic's going back and forth. Like, no, I do. There was a spot where Booker T said, "Vic, you have to grow up." And I said, "Yes, Vic Joseph." As you can tell, I'm trying to collect my thoughts because I said Vic Joseph, and Vic Joseph's irritating. Let's talk about this main event, and we're going to call it a show here, guys, real quick before.
Ridge Holland is kind of big. He's 6'1", so.
Me too. I'm actually 6'2". I grow every day. Every time I step in the sun, I get bigger. So I don't know what we're talking about here. I wish he would get on my height. He's too short. Actually, when he sees me, he probably just laughs.
Let's talk about Trick Williams calling out Melo.
You want to talk about it? Take the lead, madam.
So we got Trick coming out. He's basically talking about one Mr. Carmelo Hayes, saying that Melo lied to him about having his back, that he never had his back for 2 years, that a lot of the stuff that he said was lies, saying that line that they were brothers. But one thing he didn't lie about is that they were on different levels. And even mentioned that John Cena had told Trick that Melo was lying to him that day that they were having that conversation. And then before we know it, we're having a nice little time, and out comes Noam Dar in the metaphor to challenge Trick Williams for a match. We're going to get it. And then before we know it, what we didn't expect was a big old wet one from one Mr. Trick Williams to Miss Lash Legend to end the night.
Yeah, no, it was good stuff. I mean, Trick had some fire. He talked about it. He wanted to challenge his brother at Stand and Deliver. It did what he had to do. So, you know, and the fans, they love Trick. They love him. I appreciate that. I love that for him. I mean, I feel like you nailed everything, so I would be just repeating what you're saying. But, yeah, no, when he did that to Lash, I said, oh, okay, there we go. So, yeah, I love it. I saw your thing on Twitter, Jeffrey, and you said, we love black love. Oh, we sure do, baby. So I dig it. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I also like the fight because also with Trick, he was serious. He was very, very serious. And when Noam Dar came out, and Noam Dar, obviously the guy can go in the ring, but he's a joke character. He says, certain things, and I forgot the nickname that he called him. He called him like Willie Trick or something like that. It was like a play on his name, and I dig it. But yeah, he said that, and Trick kept mentioning like, now's not the time. Stay out the ring. Get out. Just don't. And he laid them all out. So good stuff. Really good show for NXT. And we're glad that you guys were in the chat to join us and talk about NXT. So we're going to do some plugs. Jeffrey, I just want to highlight this real quick. Says, good thing it wasn't my girl Jakara. you'd have been sick.
One Mr. Executive Consultant would have been very upset if Trick Williams had kissed Jakara instead of Lash.
Trick is going to beat Noam Dar because I can see Lash helping Trick. That's from George. And we also got Naomi's a true friend. She felt bad for Bailey. That was random, but yes, she does. Yes, she does. But listen, good Chris. I see that you're talking some SmackDown. Why don't you join Unpopular Review Saturdays because they talk about SmackDown, and you can talk more about it and stuff. So, but I do want to say appreciate you being here. So let's do some plugs real quick. Oh, I feel like I pressed the wrong thing. Jesus. Okay, cool. That's fixed. Obviously, you can catch us on Tuesdays, but let's talk about the best. What you call it? We got one chat. I just want to highlight it real quick. And Jeffrey mentioned we would have had problems. I bet. UNEC taking on Trick. That would have been hilarious, and I would have loved all of the footage because I'm pretty sure this would have took place in the NXT parking lot. And I've seen the executive consultant in the parking lot of NXT because when he met one Jade Cargill, who was a beautiful woman, I'll do it one more time for you. When he saw her, oh, I couldn't believe what I saw. I said, man, if you don't take me to some fucking Wendy's right about now. No, I didn't curse at him. I wouldn't do that. I don't have a dirty mouth like Thea Hale, who said bitch. Not a good word. We don't say bitch over here. Anyway, you can catch Mike Knox on Monday because that should be bitching. No, I'm just kidding. Why you take the you want me to do the I'll do it. Mondays, you have the Mike Knox show at 6 p.m. It's the show that kick off the week. You can catch the outstanding and talented Mike Knox. You can also catch King Von on there. He does This Week in Wrestling History. They're a great team. So check him out. He talks about everything. Raw, SmackDown, a little bit of NXT, Collision, AEW, TNA. And he says the dirt sheet sucks. I'm not going to say death to dirt sheets, but he's just not a fan of it. And on Mondays, you could catch the executive consultant. I feel like I just badmouthed him. And I feel like when he sees his back, I'm going to get fired. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll see you guys next week. But you can see the executive consultant and one Jeff Littman Evil Dose right after Monday Night Raw goes off the air. So if you are up after 11, because I get it, Raw is 3 hours and at 11 p.m. But if you are up, please join these gentlemen. It is a great show. It's a great time. So please check them out. Obviously, you could catch us on Tuesday. I'm going to make sure we have I don't think we have we do. On Wednesdays, Evil Dose is not on AEW Dynamite, but you catch Dan the Man and Venny. You never know what's coming out of Venny's mouth. He's going to tell you about how Tony Storm copied off of Goldust. So you got to hear that conversation. But AEW Dynamite review show right after Dynamite go up the air. Sometimes the sheriff might be on. Sometimes I might be on. Sometimes the executive consultant. You never know. Sometimes there's a special guest there. I won't highlight the TNA show. We're still trying to figure out a time for all that, but we would love for a TNA review show. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Saturdays, we have a block on Saturdays. And kicking off the block, I don't think it's actually a block, but to start it, we have SmackDown. You can catch Z the Silent and Vic is Saturdays at 12 p.m. Sometime it could be at 1 p.m., but it's the afternoon. So if you guys want to talk some SmackDown, please join us here. That's why I keep saying hit that like and subscribe button because it's so important. And on Saturdays, we have a Collision show. Sometimes you can catch Shay Sawyer. You can catch the Sheriff. Sometimes you might catch Dan the Man. You might catch Venny. You might catch Evil Dose. You don't know. It's a revolving door. But if you are free on Saturdays after Collision go off the air and you just want to talk some wrestling, please join us. I feel like I lost my voice a little bit. And we have the entertainment. I'm not sure what movie they're reviewing right now. I can tell you right now, two of the things I'm doing with the Trio of Destiny. Tomorrow we'll continue to review Superman and Lois. We're on episode 7. And then on Thursday, we are also doing Invincible. Invincible is back on. So if you're free on Wednesday and Thursday at 7:30, come by and stop through. And I do know one of the things that they are doing for entertainment is when X-Men 97 come out, they will be reviewing it episode by episode. So if you guys like X-Men, I might join that first episode. I have a whole Wolverine costume. I might pop up. I don't know. So please, there's so much great stuff. There's so much great content. I want to get into the chat a little bit before we call it a show. I'm sorry. Let me move up a little bit here. As you see me squint my eyes. We would have problems. Okay, so Good Chris in the chat says because Bailey is going to face Dakota Kai this Friday on SmackDown. Yes, she is. I'm going to say this, Jack. That kiss with Lashley and Trick did make me blush. Oh, God. It made you blush? Okay. It made me blush because I kept thinking of me and my girl best friend who I had feelings for some. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, LOL, he made that sound. Yes, he did make that sound. Oh, you talking about the executive? Oh, yeah, he did.
When it comes to him and Jade Cargill, he gets like the same way he does with Jakara Jackson on here, where he'll pop up her picture in the middle and keep it there for the entirety of the show. He's worse with Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah, no, I thought he was going to melt, and I was concerned because I don't live in Florida, so I was like,
look at what for the Wizard of Oz. I'm melting.
and I would, and you know what, Russell? No, I would have been very upset because guess what? He drove me to not to the place because you know you got to take a bus to get there, but he drove me, and I was like, how am I getting home? Because I'm not taking Uber. I refuse. But I'd like to be back there soon because I want to do another NXT show, and hopefully you're with us when we do that. Because hanging out with the executive, he's a fun time. He's great. I give him a hard time because me. But what we got? Jeffrey says that recap 2 weeks ago in Raw Cap with Steve and Jeff was alive, including the ending. I would have frozen if I met Jeff. She's fantastic. She's just as pretty when you see her in real life. Fantastic. Real quick, let's plug those things real quick and we'll call the show because we went long. But Wrestling Doll, you have a YouTube channel. We always talk about our content that we do outside of Unpopular Review because we're here to build our brand. I mean, we're here to build the Unpopular Review brand, but we're here to talk about the plans that we have outside of it. So, Wrestling Doll, please talk about this. I know they've heard it a lot of times, but let's say it again.
Well, I have my
What's feeling, madam?
So to speak, the unofficial camera woman, where I go throughout Central Florida, sometimes South Florida, and record matches online and out in public and put them up on the internet for people to see. Depending on which company I go to see, I don't put them up public right away, just so the people that are in it can watch it first. Maybe use it for their social media, maybe use it to study, and then when the time is right, I make it public. So be on the lookout for when I put up videos.
Fantastic. And there's a lovely link to that lovely page. So please check it out. I have a podcast. It's an audio podcast. And it's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Probably not for much longer because I'm hearing Google Podcasts not even going to be a thing anymore. Spotify, we're hoping to get this thing on more platforms, but it's called the Big Pop Theory Podcast. We recorded an episode on Sunday. We air it on Mondays around 12 p.m. Follow our social medias. We have it, the Big Pop _ on Twitter, Instagram, and all that lovely jazz. It was a fun show. Please take a listen to it and give us some feedback. What could we do better? What would you like to hear more of? Blah, blah, blah. All those lovely things. So with all that said, I think we plugged the great shows that we have here on Unpopular Review. We plugged the things that we got. I do want to say again, please check out AEW Dynamite tomorrow after it goes off the air. Great guys here. We appreciate you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you're I give you a hard time, and you know that I always do it out of being playful and stuff. But always appreciate you being here in the chat. I know that you just came from another show, and then you popped in here as well. I hope that you defended JC Jane like I told you to. But I know you didn't because you don't listen to me, and I get that. Roderick, 20 points for you. Let's end the show because I'll keep giving Roderick more points. I'm not going to play the music. Should we play the music? Let's play the music. Let's play the outro music. Because it's always the funny. Does anybody hear it? Does anyone hear the music? You hear the music? How about that? Do we hear it? All right, guys. Guys, this is Unpopular Review, the NXT review show. The NXT Tuesday crew. Probably will never do that again. Where's this thing moving up? Okay, here we go. We're going to hit the outro thing. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, folks.